Hey, what's going on? Of course, to all of my alternative book snobs out there, it is me, Amira Blaze, also known as Nostalgia Allure. And today's episode, guys, is actually what I like to call a crossover topic episode. So, in case you guys don't know, I actually have 3 other shows. I have the Curvy Metalhead show where I do interviews with like rock and metal musicians, as well as I just talk overall like and critique the culture of like rock and heavy metal in general, and I'm brutally honest with it. Also, I have what's called AC, also known as the Affordable Critic, and there I focus more on like talking about creativity and affordability in regards to the arts for adults, as well as I talk about retro pop culture. So for example, I'll do like a movie review from like the 70s, like cool stuff like that, and just be brutally honest with it as well. And then I have this show which is called Bookshade, and Bookshade is all about the books, as well as just talking about the culture of the booktube community and not holding back. And all my shows, guys, I just focus on being brutally honest because somebody got to do it. Okay, so this is a crossover episode between the Curvy Metalhead show and Bookshade, because for today's episode, guys, I know it took me a while, but oh my gosh, I had a lot of cleaning to do with these books. Make sure, guys, with this coronavirus situation going on, please disinfect your books. Please, do that, okay? And you should be disinfecting your books in general, because these are all used books I'm going to be showing you. And when it comes to used books, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, sometimes they're clean, but other times they are dirty as hell and nobody got time, okay? So I got a lot of books to show you guys. I couldn't resist. There was a sale going on and I went a little bit too crazy with it, but you know what? I like reading and I like you guys, so that's why I'm doing this. So let's get started here. Oh, before we get started, guys, I always like to give shout outs to people in the booktube community that you may not know about, and they are spectacular and they're doing cool, really cool stuff. So I have a special story time here. This booktuber that slays is Bald Book Geek. Oh my gosh, guys, I love Will's show, guys. Like, he has become like a good friend of mine now, and Will is amazing, guys. Like, you think I keep it real? Will, he keeps it real. like he will let you know. So some examples of some of his content: he does these really concise. Me, I'm big-winded, so my show be 1-2 hours, but I'm more of a booktube streamer. But he also does like live episodes as well. But the thing that I like about Will, guys, is you can just tell that he's so passionate about reading and he really cares about his audience. And guys, Will went out of his way. He didn't have to do this, but he shouted my show out, and it really meant a lot to me. So guys, please make it your business. Check out Bald Book Geek. I love his content is spectacular. Like, I think it was like yesterday he did an episode. Oh hey, we got and we have CV, welcome to the program, and we got D, welcome to the show as well. And I will address what you said in a moment here. So I just love Will's show, guys. He's really talented, and he really deserves, you know, so much more than what he's getting in regards to people checking out his show. I mean, guys, he did an excellent video, and I'll have the link below so you guys can check it out. He actually talked about the whole YA thing. You know, like right now on booktube, one of the hot topics is everybody is reviewing YA and YA crossover books, you know, like Sarah J Maas and things like that. And he did a really, really good, honest, candid discussion about this, and he kept it real. And I really appreciated what he said. So I'll have that below, like some of my favorite videos of his. And it's not because he's like my friend, guys. He actually is really, really good at what he does, and I love him. So Will, thanks so much for that support and just the love and support that you've been giving me. I really appreciate it. He is a really nice guy, and like, guys, get to know his show. You will not be disappointed. So let's get to this ridiculous part 4. I can't even talk today. Part 4, affordable book haul, but we're gonna be specializing in talking about vampire romance books, as well as just really cool, like, other stuff. I'll surprise you here. So with that being said, let me address this fool, and then you're not gonna participate saying the stupid stuff that you're saying. So first off, my show is called Book Shade. We focus about books. You wanted to be a dumbass, and I'll say what you said here. We can't see you because of your black chair. Obviously, you were making fun of my race, and you know what? Black is beautiful, just like how anybody of any race is attractive. So you need to have several damn seats, and nobody cares about what you have to say when you're saying stuff that's ignorant, in all due respect. I don't know what it is. It's like, for some reason, when dark-skinned people like myself come on to YouTube or Twitch, it's like people just, some people, not all of you, because a lot of you guys have been wonderful. I'm just addressing the assholes like you that feel that you have this right to come to my program and make fun of my race. And how would you feel if I made fun of your race? That's not appropriate, and that's not right. And with that, you are done. The library has been closed. I don't care what you have to say. So as you can see, guys, I'm a no-nonsense person. You bring up anything about my race, you bring up anything about my size or my voice, you will not be able to participate in this program. It's not right to make fun of someone's race. You know what that's called? It's called colorism. And colorism, the definition of that is when you're going out of your way to discriminate against people based on their skin color. And specifically, colorism is targeted towards people that are darker. So it's not right. And D, I'm gonna let it slide, but if you continue being extra too, I don't care who it is, I will make sure that you do not participate on my program today. So we need to be respectful. I don't care who the race of the person is. I spend a lot of time, guys, and I put a lot of effort into doing these lives for you. And I go out of my way to buy these, different books and things that not only I enjoy, but to show you the diversity of reading that's out there. So if you're gonna come and be an asshole on my program and be extra, I don't got time for it, honey. You wanna come and read me? I am the queen of reading. So I can read you back. So, I don't, no disrespect, but I don't have time to be dealing with this type of foolishness. So if you're gonna come to my program, I would just ask that you conduct yourself like an adult. And if you can't do that, then I'm gonna have to let you go. And that's it. It's not funny to make fun of people. Like, guys, I already got enough stuff that I have to deal with being a dark-skinned person that does this. And I don't need to be subjected every time I do my show to people wanting to say things that are ignorant. I don't have time for it. So moving on from that, and I apologize to my main audience. Unfortunately, we have these type of assholes that come into people's programs and they think it's funny to say things that are really, really ignorant, and it's not funny at all. So, okay, you're done, D. Done. So as you can see, guys, I don't have time. So, you know, I don't have time for the foolishness. But let's get on with this haul. Let's ignore these stupid pricks. They have nothing better to do. I will pray for you that you find something better to do with your time than to just go around and being assholes to people. That's what I'm gonna pray for you, so you can do something better with your life. Amen. Amen. So the library is now closed. Let's get back into it, guys. Let me show you the books that I got here, okay? So the first book that I got is a series, actually. These are all hardcover, and I only paid like $3-4 for them, actually. It's part of this series that's called a Lux novel series, and it's done by Anna Goberson. And there's actually 4 books in this series. This is I would consider it like a YA kind of crossover, because there are a lot of topics that they talk about in these books that I think adults can relate to. Now, I am a little bit of a hypocrite though, because I've said in the past that I would not cover YA, and I think the reason why is I was looking at it from the wrong mindset. I was just looking at YA like how like it's all about the popular books and stuff like that. But there are a lot of new like YA like new crossover, that kind of stuff, like new adult. There's not a genre for YA, but it seems it's like a more of like a category or a description of books, where it's a blend between YA crossover and new adult. And I think that's what these books represent, in my personal opinion. So what the Lux series is about, guys, just think of like The Bachelor, think about all those like really messy kind of reality shows, but it's set in the later half of the 19th century. So that's what these books are. So we have Envy, and apparently the tea gets spilled in these books, no pun intended. These books apparently are really juicy. But they're meant for the YA audience, I would say YA crossover, a little bit of new adult, but that's just me personally. Like I said before, we also have Splendor, and I love the covers. Like, guys, you know what made me laugh though is I bought these books just because of the cover, which is terrible. But once I read into the synopsis of these books, then things got, they look really interesting. And then finally, this is the first book in the series, and it's just called Lux. And well, actually there are 4 books. So you have Lux, you have Splendor, you have Envy. This one I was really sad it didn't come with the cover, but I'm gonna try to see if I can buy the cover separately, just so I have a complete, covers. This one is called Rumors. Okay, like, oh my gosh, Rumors. Okay, no, but yeah, so we have Rumors here. So yeah, I am very excited to read these, and I'm gonna put these, actually I'm gonna put these down on the ground because I want to put them I like to keep my books in the correct reading order, so that way I know how to read, what the reading order, so that I can just pick it up and start reading. Okay, guys, now the next series. Okay, I was so inspired by the Witcher games. I'm currently playing through the first one. Super good. I highly recommend it. But the books are just as good as the video game. Now, the TV series is a little bit debatable, because when I first watched, I watched the first half of The Witcher, the first season. It kind of took a while for the story to start to kick in, but guys, once you get to the middle part of the first season, that's when it really starts getting good. So it is going to be interesting next year. hopefully with all this crazy stuff going on, we'll see what happens next year, if how season 2 is going to be. But so far all the actors are really good. I don't know why there was this whole controversy, you know, about Yennefer being a person of color. Who cares? Okay, at the end of the day, as long as the actor is playing the role correctly, and that they understand that character and the story is relatable to watch, who cares? Like, there was this whole issue about, you know, why are there people, they had Polish people in the show as well to make it more accurate. But here's the thing, guys, about the fantasy genre. In this case, yes, the book is based on like the Polish folklore, because the series is written by Andrzej Sapkowski. But overall, I think they did a really good job. And like, sometimes let's just give props to good actors. Who cares what race they are? Seriously, let's get over that. I mean, that's just me personally. So moving on from that, I have 2 of the books that are later on in the series. I'm waiting for my box set, but unfortunately, guys, it's going to take a while for it to get here. I'm going to have to reorder it because hot mess. Okay, I'll just put it that way. So I have, these books actually came in really good condition. I have Lady of the Lake. And I also have, this is like this, I believe is the short story. This is Season of the Storms. I would recommend reading the short stories in the series because it helps to kind of clarify the background of, you know, of Geralt and everything like that. It kind of gives you a little bit before you get into the main series of The Witcher, so I would recommend doing that. So I got that. Oh, Geralt looks so, look how tasty he looks. Okay. Oh, lickable. Okay. Enough with my hormones raging here. Let's get back into it here. So now, guys, remember the last time in the haul I was telling you about this series that is called Blood Ties, which is a TV show that's based on the books by Tanya Huff. So I ended up getting, let's see, there's 5 books in the series, so I got the last 3. So we have Blood Pact, we have Blood Price. Ooh, he is so fun. Oh my gosh, I love him, you know. And then of course we have the final one, which is Blood Debt. Both of them are really hot because he's the detective and then he's the vampire that works with her. Oh, so hot. But guys, I highly recommend. I know some people are not into Lifetime. I could give 2 craps less about Lifetime. But if you have a chance to watch the Blood Tide series, please do. It's really, it's interesting to watch it. It's kind of a different spin on like the whole paranormal like mystery genre. Normally I'm not into mystery, but I really got into this show, so that's why I got the books, because I was like, ooh, I hope I'm sure they're just as good as the show. All right, so next, this person, guys, I just found out of the blue. Sometimes when I'm looking for books, I'll look for like recommendations. So it's like, oh, if you like this person, then you will like this person too. And I've never heard of this author, but once I read the concept of some of her books, I was blown away. So her name is Gail Carringer, and she's super cool, guys. Like, she's really, really cool. She actually studies the steampunk culture and stuff like that. She's really, really smart. This is her series of books. I call them the Less series. So this is kind of like you're taking like a paranormal environment, and it's based in Victorian and steampunk, like Victorian steampunk lore. It's really cool. So you have Blameless. So this is a novel of vampires, werewolves, and unexpected surprises. Then you have Soulless, and I love the covers too. Heartless. And I got like all of her like complete book series because I was obsessed with the. As soon as I saw steampunk, and you guys know I really am obsessed with Victorian culture. I just love it. I love those the Shakespearean days where like, you know, men were like gentlemen and on horses and shit, be kissing your hand like, oh my god, thank you so much, my lord, you know, like stuff like that. I love, like, I live for Jane Austen. Oh my gosh, guys, the classics, but I digress. So here we have Timeless. And half of the collection I got on paperback, because this is, okay, so this is like my kind of ideology when it comes to buying used books. I tend to buy used books just based on the price and the condition of the books. I tend to buy books that are either good all the way up to like new. I don't go below that because sometimes when you get acceptable, the cover could be gone or it's just ripped up and it looks like it's falling apart and it's not in good condition. So that's kind of the gist of what I kind of do. Then we have Changeless. But yeah, I'm really obsessed with Victorian England and all of that, just the whole Victorian era. I watch a lot of those historical reality shows. Oh my gosh, guys, I cannot wait to tell you about this one historical reality show. I gotta watch it and then I'll review it as a crossover episode for you guys. And then this one was a little bit bigger. Well, this book this is a different series than this Soulless or the Less series. This is I like to call it it's called The Finishing School. Now, this is book, it's called The Fine Art of Finishing Others. So this is the first one here. We have etiquette, and these are not in the correct order, but this is espionage, or etiquette and espionage. So the gist that I kind of read about these books is it's about a young lady, and she doesn't have the best relationship with her mother. So she ends up going to this boarding school. Like, her mom's like, I can't deal with this shit. This is what I think it's about, from what I read. And then she gets left at this finishing school because back in the day, guys, during the 18th century and even during the Edwardian era, ladies were supposed to be sophisticated and delicate. And some women were just not like that. Like, some women, you know, were just rough around the edges, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what parents would do is they would take their young ladies and take them to finishing school, kind of like etiquette school, to teach them how to, like, literally conditioning women to be proper within Victorian society. So this book, and this is I was surprised, this is actually a YA series, but I would consider it new adult a little bit, maybe YA crossover because of the subject matter. So what happens is she gets to this school and she finds out that this finishing school is not your typical finishing school. They actually teach you how to be a Victorian assassin. I was like, I have to buy all the books. I'm like, this is going to be so good. So this is the first book I got to show you is the Etiquette and Espionage. Then you have Manners and Mutiny. Okay, I'm not British at all. So, horrible British accent there. I wish I had a British accent. But then we have Waistcoats and Weaponry. So, this is a cool series. I haven't heard a lot of people... See, what I try to do too, guys, is to show you guys series that maybe you're not hearing a lot about anymore, but they're really, it seems like a really cool synopsis for a book. Like, a Victorian female assassin. Like, how badass is that? And oh, hey, we have Ben. Hey, what's up, Ben? Welcome to the program. And Ben is asking me what my favorite book is. Let me see. Do I have it here in front of me? I don't have it in front of me, but I'll tell you. My favorite book, guys, is what started like my whole book reading career, if you want to call it that. Oh, we have Primrose. Hey, Primrose, and Primrose's like, hey, welcome. And I would have to say, Ben, The book that really started it all for me was Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. From the very beginning, guys, I have always been a vampire book fan. It could be vampire romance. I love reading horror, you know. It's just, and you know, I have to be honest, guys, there's a reason why that Black people are interested in horror, is because it's a reflection of the things that we go through sometimes. Being a person of color is not always, like, sometimes my friends will say like, oh my gosh, I wish I was Black, and I'm like, it's not as easy as you think, okay? And the horror genre kind of reflects that, or some of the things that are challenges, like being different. You know, a lot of times when people look at villains in horror movies, or just antagonists even within literature, they're always seen as like the bad person. But when you really study, guys, villains, you come to find out why they are the way they are, and it's because they've had to deal sometimes with a lot of indifferences. So that's why I think a lot of Black people are interested in the horror genre specifically, is because sometimes being different is horrific, you know, just to keep it real. But besides all of that, I really like vampires, werewolves, paranormal romance. But lately I've gotten into historical fiction. So right now I'm reading a book about the evolution of the fashion designer Coco Chanel. It's an interesting historical fiction take on that. And oh, Prim asks, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I've had a really rough week though. I've had, even though I'm relaxing, I'm like, I've been getting all of my books, which I'm very grateful for, but then I'm trying to get them organized and everything. And then I have my art supplies, because I also do adult coloring as well. So like, I'm trying to get that looking not a hot mess, my books not looking not a hot mess, my whole room not looking a freaking hot mess, you know? Someone has told me to read that, the Jane Eyre. I have not read it. I did buy the ebook for it, but I am gonna get the physical copy of that because I heard it is spectacular. I actually am gonna be watching all of the Jane Austen movies, the other Bullying Girl. I just got the whole books collection for Philippa Gregory because I heard her historical fiction is really good. I have C.W. Gardner. Not a lot of people talk about his books either, which I'm really surprised. But you know what? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to inform you guys about authors that are doing really, really good stuff. Let's continue here. So I have same finishing school series. This is the second book. Oh, so this is the third book I just showed you, but this is the second book. This is Curtsies and Conspiracies. Good God, this is a great name. I would love, guys, to actually meet Gail Carringer just to like probe her brain about the concept of this particular book series, because she has different series. So that's the finishing school series. Then she has this series I like to call the Custard Protocol. Oh, this book is so sticky. So sticky. All right. So next we have, once again, Gail Carringer. We have the a novel of particular incidents and unruly dissonance. And this is Imprudence. And guys, I got these for like $3-4, so I couldn't resist. Then I have here, this is Prudence. And look at the covers. Like, guys, okay, so there's this couple, I forgot where they live. I would love to interview them someday. They're known as the Victorian couple. Guys, I'm not even joking. This couple, actually 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they live as the life of Victorian people. Their house is completely redone in Victorian technology. They make fires. Like, it's really cool. Like, I'm that type of person. I would do that. Like, I would dress up in Victorian garb and be like, "Hey, good day, sir," you know, like that kind of thing. I love that. I love like cosplay for me is not like cosplay. It's kind of like, it's something I would normally do. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. And what is going on today? So much crap. All right, there we go. But yeah, I love that. They're a Victorian couple is what they're called. So I would love to talk to them, because I just find that interesting. People who want to live in a particular time period, even in modern day. So then the final book in this Custard Protocol series, this is book 3, which is called Computence. So it's really, these books, guys, pretty much take place in this like Victorian steampunk environment. So definitely check these out. They seem pretty cool. So I got those. And then, guys, to complete my Tudors collection from Philippa Gregory, I have the last books here. So I have The Kingmaker's Daughter. And then I have this one here. The Other Queen. So now I have all the books for the Tudor series from Philippa Gregory. I completed that. I have all of the C.J. Gardner books. I have all of the Fire and Ice series from George R.R. Martin now complete. I have Vampire Diaries. The only books that I don't have are the originals, which is kind of like a different, it's like the spin-off, or I think it's either the spin-off or the prequel of Vampire Diaries. So I got the first book, but I'll have to get the other 2. Then my Vampire Diaries thing will be complete. I also have all of the, well, they're coming in like sections. The J.R. Ward Black Dagger Brotherhood. Shout outs to Peace Love Books. You inspire me, Peace Love Books. I know she's probably sick of me saying that. She's like, this bitch. But I love her, okay? So I got all of those. Now, oh my gosh, guys. Let's see. Okay, I showed all these. Okay, so guys, this is the moment I've been waiting for. A little side story here. I am a huge fan of Charlene Harris, okay? Charlene Harris is the creator of the Sovereign Vampire Mysteries. They're also known as the True Blood books, which is based on the TV series, okay? Which we'll be covering. Because, just like how Anne Rice, guys, really paved the way for the modern take on the vampire, Charlene Harris kind of took the torch to that too. And there were many other people like Laurel K. Hamilton and etc., etc. But the reason why I say Charlene Harris and kind of really putting a spotlight on her is because if it was not for the True Blood series, yeah, Vampire Diaries, was part of that wave, and even though Twilight is garbage, I have to give props to Twilight, because if it was not for those movies, it helped to bring this second wave of vampire pop culture, okay? But Charlene Harris added a new wave to that, because not only did she put a different twist on the modern vampire, but she made the vampires relatable. And that's why there's this correlation to me between Anne Rice and Charlene Harris, is because most of the time when people look at the creature of the vampire, it's this thing that you're supposed to fear, and Nosferatu and that kind of thing. But the difference with Charlene Harris, just like with Anne Rice, the vampires actually have, well, some of them actually have emotions. And you forget that they're vampires. And those are the type of vampire books that I like reading. Guys, let me tell you, I read Interview with a Vampire in a day. Okay, and then after that, I read Vampire Lestat, Queen of the Damned, Merrick, all that. The books they're so relatable, because you forget that they're vampires. I mean, until they say, oh, okay, I bit someone's neck and I drained their blood like, Kool-Aid. but besides that, they're human, and I love that. So, guys, I was really, really grateful. Oh, hey, we got some more people in here. We got Super. Hey, what's up? And Super is spilling some tea. He's letting a bitch know. And says, I don't know. I thought it was mediocre. Are you talking about Charlene Harris or Anne Rice? And then Super also said the vampires weren't realistic. And JV wants to say, but vampires aren't like that. Well, I think it's all personal opinion, okay? Some people like their vampires to, rip out people's tracheas and be like 30 Days of Night. Other times, people like their vampires to be more sensual, like the True Blood vampires and Anne Rice, vampires. Some people like their vampires to be more classical, like your Bram Stoker type of vampires, But it's all a matter of personal opinion. People get so heated about this, let me tell y'all. So, oh, and Super says that he likes his vampires to hunt and taste blood. Well, Vampire Diaries, they kind of do that, but it's more moderate. So there's always going to be this debate amongst the vampire book fans, and the people who are fans of the vampire pop culture. You're going to have people that are what I like to call the modern vampire fans. These are people who like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, they like, what's the other show? Like stuff like Forever Night, where it's kind of this blend of the modern with the traditions of the vampire, right? Lore. Then you have the people that are the classic people, the classic vampires. They like their Nosferatu, their Bela Lugosi's. For me, I'm a blend of both. I recognize that if it was not for Bram Stoker, and there were many people actually before Bram Stoker too, that if it was not for them, we would not have the vampires that we have now. So, and wow, this is interesting discussion we are actually having. And then Super says, I like them sexy and intense and bloody. That's why I'm surprised that you didn't like True Blood, because True Blood, there was some sexiness in that show. Good God. And Super says, if I could read, I would love vampire. Come on now. Come on now. I'm sure you can read if you can make a sentence. Let's not talk like this now. All right. So then we have Paul. Hey, what's up? And JV also says Blade. Who cannot forget Blade? But see, here's the other thing. There's always a debate with Blade, because even though Blade he's a half human, half vampire, some people feel that it's too modern. It's way, way too modern. But for me, I like Blade because it's kind of that blend of, of both, And Paul, we're not going to have this, okay? Please. Ridiculous. Finnegan's like, what's a vampire? Man, go look it up. Come on now. Come on, And then you got people who like vampires of a particular period. You got people who like the dusk before, the dusk before dawn. So you got those people that are more of the 90s kind of vampire. Then you got your 80s vampire people, like the Lost Boys, like that kind of stuff. Then you have the people who like the early 2000s stuff, So, I mean, for me, I'm more of a hybrid vampire, like pop culture fan. Because I do like and actually people forget too about the diversity within vampires, because you had movies like in the 70s, you had Blackula, okay, and he was the first African American prominently to take on that type of vampire character. And then you had movies like, I believe in the early 80s there was a movie called Vamp with Grace Jones, but people are not talking about that, So like I look at it from both sides, and then we have the God who strikes lightning. Hey, what's up? And go to the program. And God says it's way too moderate. Yeah, see, there you go. It's a matter of personal preference. I understand the people like the classics. I respect the people who like the modern stuff. But I don't feel like if you don't like the classics, then you can't be a vampire book fan or a horror book fan, And horror is looked upon differently depending on what not only what time period, but what authors you're looking at. Stephen King has a completely different view on the vampire versus Anne Rice versus Charlene Harris versus Laurel K. Hamilton, even Dr. Stoker, who is the great grandnephew of Bram Stoker. He wrote a prequel called Dracula, and then the official sequel to Dracula, because there's been many Dracula spin-offs throughout the decades, which is Dracula the Undead. So, everybody's different. God says he is a hybrid vampire. Hey, nothing wrong with that. See, the hybrid vampires are like Vampire Diaries. Because if you think about it, whether you love or hate the show, it does have a different take on the vampire because Stefan and Damon can go out in the daylight. Whereas if you like classic vampires, that's not the case. You know, they have rings that actually protect them from the damage from the sunlight, you know? And then, okay, Super, you're done. So rude. Come on now. Come on. All right, let me put my music back on. I'm enjoying this awesome conversation that we're having. But yeah, I do review, guys, a lot of vampire books and movies and shows. We'll get into it. Like I have a feeling you guys will really enjoy that content as well. And then and Finicky says, are vampires those type of guys that dye their hair black and wear skinny jeans? Come on now. Well, that's a different pop culture. The skinny jean look, that really came, guys, you can even go all the way back to the 70s, you know, and they had the whole skater culture. There's actually a really cool book of photography from the 70s of skater dudes and stuff like that. But there were also women that skated too. You know, people thought that skating was just something that guys did, but no, women did that as well. But yeah, they had the skinny jeans and the black hair. That's kind of a combination of a couple things. Okay, so within Gothic culture, you have this subgenre that's called industrial goth. And what industrial goth is yeah, you're taking like the skinny jeans and you got the black hair, but maybe you might put on like a metallic kind of jacket. There's a lot of machinery kind of looking to it. You know, it looks very robotic too, depending. So if you say dye black hair, it could mean a variety of different subgenres. It could be goth, it could be punk, it could be metalheads, because a lot of metalheads dye their hair black. Some naturally have black hair. You know, so when it comes to alternative subcultures, there's a lot of leeway, and right now subcultures are not concrete. Because guys, from my research of subcultures were really subcultures have always been around, but then they started kind of becoming more concrete during the 90s and on, like, I would say, well, 80s too, I have to be fair. So like 80s and onward, 80s was a little more fluidity, and there was a lot of androgyny that happened during that time. But for some reason, when the 90s came, there was still some androgyny, but it kind of got muted a little bit by the time the 2000s came. And there was not that much. Then things had to be concrete. Like, if you're goth, you have to look like this. If you're a metalhead, you have to look like this. And this is where some subcultures, guys, actually have rules of like what you can and you cannot do, and what is goth and what is not. So I always tell people, before you get involved with subcultures, you might want to study it, because some cultures have a little, some subcultures have a little more fluidity than others. So I'm just saying. And the God has come back and told me to stop talking. You know what? You have several seats and you stop talking. I wonder if you have the research that I have studied on this. Nope, I don't got time, bro. Stupid. Y'all are stupid. Some of you. Actually, I like the ones in here that are actually having intellectual discussion. But we're gonna just ignore the stupid people, okay? And JV says, I like werewolves more. Yeah, some people like werewolves more. I'm kind of, it depends on the type of werewolf for me, like I've read some paranormal romance that has, like, for example, that has werewolves, and I could get into it, but like werewolves, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed with them. I don't like the werewolves from Twilight were a little bit too extra, but I did really enjoy the werewolves in Vampire Diaries though. It was kind of refreshing. They took that like traditional like take on them, so I thought that was cool. But they still had that kind of modern touch to them. But yeah, werewolves are pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. Like I appreciate a good looking werewolf. I'll say that. So all right guys, so let me show you. I was able to guys get the complete Charlene Harris collection. I'm really excited to show you this. So the first one that I got is this is kind of like supplementary material, I would say. So this is Stooky Stackhouse the complete stories, because there was like short stories, and then this is called A Touch of Dead. So I have that. So these ones are the ones that are hardcover. Then this one is interesting. It's called Dead But Not Forgotten, and these are other authors that are like collaborating in a way, like kind of like a compilation book. These are stories that are around the world of Stooky Stackhouse. So that's what this is. So I was really excited to get this. I love Charlene Harris. I just, her like True Blood is so genius. I was really impressed with it. Next we have the Stooky Stackhouse Companion. Okay, so this is kind of like the ins and outs of the Stooky Stackhouse like world and all that, but it also includes guys novella. Okay, so novellas are like short stories that I believe that are under 200 pages. I might be wrong, but this one has the novella in there, which is really cool. And then they also have an exclusive interview with Alan Ball, who is the creator of the True Blood TV show. And I highly recommend, guys, you watch it, because it does make you think about how society is, and like how society deals with people that are different. You know, you have the vampires versus the humans, and how they interact with each other, because some humans like vampires and they're called fang bangers, which is very derogatory if you think about it. And that is something that is a reflection of our world, that sometimes when you look different or you talk different, maybe you have, like, for example, people who have disabilities and stuff, people with disabilities are always seen as something that is incorrect or something that is not right, when you shouldn't treat people like that. Like you should treat people as people. But this show, we're really gonna get into it. Like it really addresses those issues, like how can people coexist in a society where some people are seen as acceptable and other people are not seen as acceptable, and how do you get along? You know, how can you coexist even though you have differences? Something to think about. Something to really think about. That's why I like the show so much. So what else I gotta show you here? Okay, so these are like the main books in the series. So the first book here is Dead to the World. These are not in the correct order, so just to let you know, because I know someone's gonna be like, excuse me, Amira, it's not in the correct order. I'm going to unsubscribe because you're dumb. Whatever. All right, so then next we have All Together Dead. We have Dead Ever After. Now, some of these are a little bit worn because they were on a shelf, but I don't really care, because for me, the books that are a little bit worn down, I actually get book tape just to keep them intact. Then we have Deadlocked. We have Definitely Dead. I have read the first book, but I'm going to reread it because I haven't read it in a long time. But I was like, you know what the heck? I got all of these books, guys, for around like $42. I can't really complain, because, guys, let me tell you, there's a couple of vampire book series that are really sought after right now. The first one is J.R. Ward, Black Dagger Brotherhood. It's impossible to find like a complete set, because everybody wants to read this series. They're really, really popular, especially if you're into paranormal romance And then this series, Stooky Stackhouse, is like ever since, you know, True Blood came out a while back, but people still really, really like these books. And I can't wait to really get into our like book roast discussion on them. Next we have Dead and Gone. The vampires are so hot in this series though. I really like Eric. I enjoy Bill too. Yes, go on. Okay. So I'm so thirsty, like no, we have Dead in the Family. And then we have, this is, I believe this is the second book, Living Dead in Dallas. I might be wrong. Then we have Dead Until Dark. I love this. I want this on a t-shirt, I swear. Oh my gosh. Then we have Club Dead. We have Dead Reckoning. This one actually has a Suki with the Suki. No, I love how Bill calls Suki in the show. It's ridiculous. It really is. All right, but she has like glitter in her hair, so I was like, oh, that's cool. So we have Dead. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Dead Reckoning. And then we have From Dead to Worse. And then we have Dead as a Doornail. See, if I ever have a rock band, that I swear that's what I would love to name my band. Just Dead as a Doornail. And then like our first song would be Don't Touch the Cornbread, It's Burned. You know? You know, I play triangle like doo, doo, doo. No. I would never do I would never do that. That would be so terrible. Okay, what else I got here? Man, they all came today, guys. It was crazy. Like, you know, like the mail person just dropped it off and I was like, oh my gosh. My parents, it was so funny. Shout outs to my parents. Like, they were just like, what is going on? And I was like, no, I just bought a whole bunch of books. You know, I'm reading, doing that thing, you know. All right. So I completed, guys, my the Me Before You trilogy, because there's 3 books by Jojo Moyes. So this is still me. So this is after me after you, and this kind of continues her journey. I believe she's in New York and she meets someone and everything's like, it's a continuation of the person that she met. But yeah, I can't wait to get into this one, because the reason why I like the Me Before You books and everything, this trilogy, is because sometimes, like for some women, you know, I was always told, guys, you know, because of my features and stuff, that I was ugly, I would never meet anybody, you know, or anything like that. And I'm single, of course, but I do believe that love transcends, you know. You could love someone that's in a wheelchair, or you could love someone that's blind, or you could love someone that's from a different culture than you, or, you know, you could love someone, for those of you who are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, you're accepted here. Everybody's accepted here at this program. So you could, you know, find someone who is your partner and things like that. So that's why I love this book series, because this woman feels like she doesn't deserve anything, you know, and then she finally meets someone, even though their relationship is kind of, there's some turbulence in the first book from what I was told, but then she, you know, they fell in love with each other regardless that, you know, he was not able-bodied and she was able-bodied. So, you know, love is love, guys, at the end of the day. So that's why I like this series so much, is because it really exemplifies that. And I really support love, relationships, and disabilities and stuff like that, because it doesn't always get talked about in a good way, in a positive way. Most of the time when people talk about romance and disabilities, it's either seen as like a fantasy, or it's seen as something to laugh at, you know, something that's comical. And yeah, I talk about these issues, guys. I am very unfiltered with it, because I feel it's important to have these discussions, and for us to learn from each other. And I think that's very important at the end of the day. So, oh my gosh! Oh, we have Will! Yes! Hey, Will, what's up? Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. No, I'm being extra, but Will, welcome. You know, I love doing this, guys. Like, I live to talk about books. I live to talk about, you know, cultural acceptance. And, you know, I want to live in a society where I don't have to be like, you know, people making fun of my skin tone and stupid shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? So, we'll talk about these things, you know, about accepting each other. I read interracial romance too. So, you know, I'm very transparent, but I'm very candid and talking about what I read, and also talking about the authors and, you know, why they write the way they do and things like that. I think that's very important, guys, because to me, booktube is not just about, you know, who can read the most books the fastest. I think booktube is also about discussion and having those discussions that sometimes it can be challenging to have, or having those discussions that could bring change to the community, and giving different perspectives. That's what community is for, guys. There's unity in community, but there's also community in perspectives. You know, like you can read YA, you can read historical fiction, whatever you're into, but I still think that we can have discussions about these genres, and it doesn't have to turn into a drama tea party. So, or maybe I like a drama tea party. It depends on the drama. No, no, a mess. But all right, I got 2 more books to show you. All right, let's see what we got. Got Will crying up in here. Good God. All right. So now you guys know I have been collecting this J.R. Ward Black Dagger. Guys, let me tell you. Okay, so the romance book community is known as Romancelandia. And for some reason, Romancelandia has been thirsty for these books for quite some time. And that is the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So I got this one, which is Lover Unbound. And these books, some of them are quite small reads, but a lot of them are really long. Like, guys, let me show you this one. This one is ridiculous, okay? So this one is Lover Reborn. Like, this thing is thick. This is thick. This is thick as my hairline, hopefully. So, no. But yeah, so I got that. And, oh, he looks so hot. I don't know. I just appreciate a man with a strong jawline. Okay, am I wrong for that? Am I thirsty bitch for that? Good God. But yeah, so any questions, guys? This is the Q&A time. And aww. No, oh, you meant sorry? Oh well. And oh, we got Shell. He's the shell of a man. And guys, another thing, I'm really into Broadway and musicals. So if I start breaking out in song, I truly apologize for making your ears bleed. And oh, Shell says, is that thick with a PH? Absolutely. Like, I love that that acronym FAT, which is pretty hot and tempting. So to all my fat people out there, like, anytime someone want to come at you, it could be on YouTube, Twitch, or even up in these hot streets, okay? And someone want to come to you and be like, oh my gosh, you're so fat. You couldn't be looking like me. And be like, skirt. First off, I am hot with a P-H-A-T. I am fat with a capital P. Pretty hot and tempting. So you have a good day. Library is now closed. Okay? So, so that's how you shut someone down when they're being dumb. So, oh, and Will says you are a great addition to BookTube. I really appreciate it. And Will says, I hope you get popular. You know, I'm always praying on it, man. But here's the thing. Like, sometimes when you keep it real, you don't always get popular. Because when people, like, here's the thing about opinions, right? People love to hear opinions, but people don't want to hear the truth sometimes. And in order to be popular, you can't give your opinion. You can give it, but it has to be a certain way that everybody agrees with it. So I pray I get popular, but I might get popular just because of giving the opposite opinion. And then if you give a negative opinion on something, then everybody wants to cancel you, then everybody wants to close the book, darling. And that's the other thing. It's like people want to hear opinions about books. You know, as an example, people want to hear why you don't like it. But as soon as you get really interpersonal with it, then people get pressed, their hairline starts to recede. You know, it's like, get your life. And apparently Dr. G wants me to show the body. Honey, the only person that gonna see this body, okay, is my man. Okay, so just saying. All right, and and we have I'm Not Good. What is going on? Hey, welcome. And I'm Not Good says, are you fat shaming me? Look, I'm fat myself. Do you think I got time to be fat shaming somebody? I fat shame myself before fat shaming someone else. Come on now. And I don't know why people like say this, but Indy says that I am an Aunt Jemima. And apparently I got that cake and you finna get a slice. Come on. Aunt Jemima is my hero. You know why? Because it takes a lot of work to make some pancakes. All right? You know how difficult it is to make a pancake? Like an actual pancake that's not burnt. You know how difficult that is? Come on now. And we have Cal. What's up? And Cal says, yes, Queen. Slay those opinions. Yes, go on. Like, come on now. Guys, in case you don't know, I've been doing this for a long time. I have been called everything under the good God on everything. Okay? So this is nothing that I haven't heard. And with that, the library is closed for the second time. Good God. And then people always ask me why my nose looks fake. Y'all, I'm African by physical features here. Okay, like African people, we all have different noses. I have not gotten a nose job. I have had no work done, okay? Like, this is how my nose looks like. Guys, at one time, you guys will find out I am very transparent about talking about my appearance and stuff like that. Guys, people were making fun of me so bad early on in my career that I wanted to get my nose changed because people were like, oh, well, you know, people don't want to see black people with this type of nose. And I was like, last time I checked, we African or you know, African people, we can be blended with all different cultures. So we all have different types of noses. Not all of us gotta have the perfect nose. I'm gonna be honest. This is how it looks like. It looks like this. You know, it's just very like slalom ski slope, like Olympian nose or whatever you want to call it that. But this is who I am. So I'm not changing anything unless I absolutely have to. You know, if it's something like medically I have to do to, you know, keep myself functioning, that's a little bit different. You know, plastic surgery, guys, I'm gonna say this. Get plastic surgery for the right reasons. Do not get plastic surgery because someone told you you're ugly. Okay? Do not get plastic surgery because you see all these celebs out here doing that. And guys, let's get some true tea here. Ever since this coronavirus thing started, right? We are seeing celebrities like how they look like, and I love it. And you know why? Because it shows that they're human. Celebrities are just people, guys, that have a lot of money and they're well known because of what they do. But when you strip all that down, they are just like you and me, honey. Okay, so that's what it is. All right, and Dr. G want to tell me, did you know that? Let me get my tea set here. Drip, drip, drip. Did you know that 100% of your opinions are garbage, including yours? Well, I could say the same thing about you, but I'm not going to because I'm a nice person. I could say your opinions are garbage. That's not right. My opinions are my opinions. If you don't like it, honey, thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. You can skirt out of here. I didn't tell you to come here. I didn't tell you to listen to my opinions. So if you don't like what I have to say, thank you, next. Thank you, next. Get your life. Just saying. No disrespect. I'm sure you're a really nice person, but it's always funny to me when people see me being me, then they want to say you can't have an opinion, but then you have the right to come to my show and tell me whatever you want to say. That's not right. So if I have an opinion, you have an opinion, and it is what it is. You don't like my show, you can get the step in. No disrespect. Like, why watch something to give you high blood pressure? Nobody wants high blood pressure. So you don't have to be here, honey. You don't have to be here. Serious. All right. Okay. So then we got Cal, and Cal says receding hairline. Woo. Yeah. Hey, receding hairlines, you know, it depends how you wear it. It could be sexy. Let me tell you. I've seen plenty of people. I got a receding hairline. Okay, that's probably why I wear this headband, so y'all can't be reading a bitch, but y'all be reading a bitch regardless. So, oh, we got Smile, and Smile says, I think you look great. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So see, like, I'm not here to be everybody's cup of tea. Some people say I'm beautiful. Some people say they want 3 scoops of my chocolate. Other people say I am a piece of dirt. And then other people say I look good. I'm not here for everybody. I'm here for the people who like me. Okay? And look, guys, look, my show, let me tell you, the type of person I am, I love interracial romances. I love interracial dating. I like me white guys. I like Latino guys. Asian men, good God. You know, whoever likes me, I'm cool. You know, that's just me. Whatever man likes me, I'm cool. So I'm not the type to be here trying to tell people how to, oh, you can have this opinion, you can't have that. You have the opinions you want to have. You have the opinions you want to have. So that's just me. Like, whoever you like me, I'm cool with you. That's just the type of person that I am. I'm not here to be a bitch, okay? There are plenty of women who are very bitchy and cunty. I'm not one of them. I am when you guys get to know me like that, I am probably one of the nicest, coolest people, and I'm not trying to, toot my own horn, as they would say. I'm just the type of person that I just accept people for who they are. And guys, let me tell you, life gets a lot easier when you stop with the bullshit and you just accept people for being who they are. When people find out that you particular, when people find out that you're extra, nobody want to hang out with you and nobody want to associate with you. And then that's when your life sucks. And how I know this, guys, is because I've done that. I used to be a very uppity, difficult person. You know, and when I mean uppity, I was just like, okay, I'm only gonna keep to myself and fuck people, you know. And we have those moments in life, you know, we have those moments. But for me, guys, I decided, let me tell you, with this coronavirus situation going on right now, you know what I told myself? I told myself, whoever likes me and accepts me, I'm cool with them. We need to love each other right now. We need to accept each other. We need to help each other. Because let me tell you guys, this coronavirus is no joke. It is affecting everybody. We all want to get back to work. We all want to get back to the time of, the things that we are doing. Right? So we don't need to be hating on each other. We don't need to be extra. Right now, we should have unity. And that's what I do. I'm all about unity on this show. We all come, kiki, have a good time. You don't want to be here? It's optional, honey. You don't have to be here. And this is the first and the last time that I'm addressing it. If I see people coming here and you're being extra, you're gone. If I see you coming in here calling me the N-word, saying that my skin is burnt, you wish you could have all this. You're gone. If you come in here saying that I'm fat, let me tell you how many men say they don't like fat women, but they be checking for us. So you can have a nice day too. And if you come to my program and you got something extra to say that is not respectful, you're disrespecting other people here, you're gone too. I don't have time. I don't have time for that mess. Okay, so let's be better people. Let's set an example. You know how many people want to write bad articles about Twitch, want to write bad articles about YouTube because of the stuff, like some of the stuff that people said in here? That's why they write those articles, because they want to make these communities look bad. But there are so many nice people on booktube. There are so many nice people on Twitch. Let's set a better example, shall we? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to elevate, not de-elevate. I've de-elevated for a good portion of my life, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to be good at what I do. I'm trying, and guys, let me tell you, I recognize people in this community that are awesome. Do I have to do that? No, I could be a selfish ass bitch and just keep to myself and do what I do. But I care about people, and I care to share with you guys people in this booktube community that are phenomenal, that are doing good things. So that's what I'm about. That's what I represent. So all right guys, thanks so much for watching today's episode. You can check me out. You know, I'm on pretty much like every other day. That's like my schedule. I kind of do a rotating schedule. I don't have a set time, guys, unfortunately, because blessings to me, I work full time, and that does take a lot of my time. But this is a time I get to relax. This is a time I get to roast people who want to be stupid. No, I'm playing. No, I'm not a bitch at all, guys. I just act like one just to, like, you know, when people are being extra. But this is my time. I have fun. We talk about books. We're going to talk about, you know, TV shows and things like that, movies, and, you know, I have geek hobbies. I just love doing that. I love talking about Lord of the Rings and how Aragorn makes my hormones rise, you know. But his character is great, Aragorn, so he's awesome. And I like talking about Star Trek, and, you know, talking about all the different species, and, you know, the Dominion and that kind of stuff. Like that's what I like to spend my time on. I don't like to spend my time on people that have nothing better to do, who want to come throw shade. I'm the queen of shade, honey. Okay. like I have hung out, you know, with enough people that are my friends who are in the LGBTQIA+ community, and they taught me how to read, motherfuckers. So if you want to come in here as one of my favorite drag queens from this great documentary called Paris is Burning, if you want to read, darling, then let's read. So if you're gonna come and read me, I will read you back. If you're gonna come and roast me, I will roast you back. But see, I'll do it in a respectful way. I'm not gonna do it like, you cancel, bitch, you know. Unless you be an extra like that, then I'm gonna let you know. But overall, guys, that's just how my rules are. I'll give you one chance. You say something stupid, I'll let it slide. You know, this is a show for adults. Like, I'm not gonna be treating you like basic like that. But if you say it again, thank you, next. Thank you, next. You're done. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Y'all messy asses. Some of you. A lot of you are not messy, but to those of you who are messy, you gonna read me, I'm gonna read you, bitch. I will. And then here's the thing, when people want to read me, then they expect me to take it. But then if I read you back, then people get mad. Be like, why are you making fun of me? Well, I don't know. You came up in my show, you had your ponytail ready, you had your hairline snatched, and you wanted to come and read me. So then I put you in your place, then you gonna get mad. So don't do that to others, guys. If you're gonna read, then you gotta learn how to read correctly. If you're gonna throw shade, that's what reading is. It is the art of throwing shade. And shade is supposed to be something that's actually based on, like, the characteristics of that person. So, like, you know, shade to me would be like if someone came and said, oh my gosh, your hair so thick it looks like a fire starter. That's what shade is. Shade is not to come and call me the N-word. Shade is not come to say that I look like Aunt Jemima. That's called being racist. And nobody got time for that. And nobody needs to be putting up with that. I don't put up with racism on my program. We can do better. Come on, Twitch. We can do better. Okay? Let's mature here. Good God. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I got a whole bunch of other stuff to do, but if you're gonna come and try to read me, darling, I will read you back. And don't get mad when I read you back, because you did it to me. But with all of that, guys, I'm not a rude person, but I will stand up for myself. And I think if more streamers did that, then you guys will stop, because nobody likes to be roasted. And nobody like to be put on the spot like that. So I'm not going to do it all the time. But if you say something a little sideways, then I'm going to have to read you a little bit too. But not all the time, guys. But we have fun here. What is coming up with Book Shade? Well, we're going to... I have a new segment that I'm working on. I will say ahead of time, this movie is going to be a difficult movie to review, so viewer discretion is advised. But we'll get into it. I'm still watching it, so I'll let you guys know what it's about, and I'll be coming up tomorrow, actually. So with that being said, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow, and remember to enjoy and embrace the darkness of reading. I'll see you guys tomorrow.